Her first 6 years, I always say to people, or perhaps a bit longer than that, it was like living through a fog. It was just putting food on the table. I didn't know what was in any of my cupboards. It was just literally something for us to wear and something for us to eat. I couldn't think in the future. I couldn't think in the past. I just had to think, I'm coping with today, and we'll get through today, we'll get through tonight, and we'll face tomorrow. She didn't sleep, so we were running on empty a lot of the time. She was just like a wild animal, but an untamable wild animal, really. And that pains me to say that, but she was. That's how locked in and how she was experiencing life and her environment at that point. But her birth was fairly, I say, normal. She passed all the tests, from the midwives, and she got a high score when she was born. They were happy with her. She developed. I would say maybe she was a little bit away with the fairies, but so am I. I always have been as well. But certainly she was walking, sort of making it talking, bringing us books and bouncing the ball, etc. The progress was just normal development before the vaccination. And then, as I said, it reversed. We were told there was no hope for recovery, only hope for management. I never ever thought she would call us mum and dad. She didn't seem to know, that we were anybody special, or that, because she had no reaction to people or animals. It was just nothing. So before the vaccination, she would have been, as a 2-year-old would have been, feeding themselves with the spoon. After the vaccination, I had to take over with the spoon, purely because the spoon might have remained in her hand for an hour. She seemed to lose the understanding of what a spoon was, or what a spoon was for, or what, so there was just no understanding of, or coordination of this is food, it must go in my mouth, it's pleasurable, I will eat it, I will stop being hungry. All that information seemed to have gone. This is as she was at about 3 or 4 years. So she was not non-responsive to any voice communication. She was non-interactive with people or animals, no eye contact, seemingly no understanding, yet she was hyperactive, wild, lots of energy, not much sleep. She would constantly run in any and every direction. She would run in her environment. If she was in a room, she would run, climb, destroy objects, and chew everything and anything. She would struggle when she was held or touched, and she would not play with toys. If she was sitting with toys, they would usually end up being very forcefully flung at the wall.
Based on where Josie started, had she not had this kind of support, what would have been the prognosis for her?
Would have been a very difficult one, because we can all see within there is a loving, creative spirit, but so desperately trapped. And so desperately trapped, very hard to get close, getting bigger. So episodes of meltdown, more and more dangerous within your house. You have to restrict the objects that you have in your house so nothing is breakable. And of course, parents are getting more and more worn down, so less able to cope with even something they could have coped with before. And heaven knows what goes on sometimes in the care homes, because they can't deal appropriately either. They would probably simply give you drugs and put you in a padded room. And that's not going, because there is this person desperately trying to get out, but does know they're living in a strange world, insofar as you have a personality trapped because of those barriers. And because the barriers appear to be insurmountable, then management is what is the only thing on offer, which gets more and more reduced to a kind of suppression, because you suppress with the drug, you suppress physically. If we take a deep breath and look better at the actual reality of the clinical condition and the way diaphragmatic breathing drives development, the way in which that breathing pattern has been altered because of the damage done to the limbic system. So you take a totally different approach to it with confidence, to go ahead with confidence, little by little by little. Then you look back and you think, my goodness, I have this child that has emerged. When did they emerge? Because it seems quite natural.
She can feed herself in about 3 seconds flat now. So even if she joins the dinner table, and that's something she couldn't do either. She couldn't sit with us at the dinner table. The attention span was so short. But now she will sit with us at the dinner table. It's easier. The cooperation is much easier. And the working with and the making Josie understand now, and I'm working with somebody that can understand now. She's still curious, she's still learning, she's still copying, she's interested now in the crawling, she's having experiences, she's having choice, she's making choices, and she's loving, she's having a good life. We're running around making sure it happens and making sure the triggers that still are don't happen. But yes, she's having a good life now, and nobody could ever have imagined that. She is really an anomaly for somebody who has had that much damage to her. You know, people kind of realize that that she is she's got a lot of traits that people love now, so the sociability has come about, and I absolutely 100% know that that would not be there had we not done the technique on her. There was no way out for her of that.
It would be so lovely to be able to give other people in the same position that degree of confidence, that you're looking for all those small things and then looking back and realize the distance that you've traveled. And that eventually what seemed to be the odds were all against you, and suddenly life is a pleasure.
It's again beautiful.